There's a certain hour of the night when your own mind turns into an interrogation room. You're lying there, phone face down beside you, replaying the same interactions, the same awkward moments, the same decisions you wish you could edit. The question that keeps coming back isn't complicated at all. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Why does everything feel slightly off, even on days that are supposed to be fine? You carry a quiet shame that doesn't show up on your face. You're too anxious for the smiling speed of work culture, too easily drained by small talk, too tired for constant hustle, too sensitive for the endless stream of bad news. Everyone else seems to move along a visible track. Career, relationships, social life. While you feel like you're walking beside the track, never quite on it, it's as if there was a manual for how to be a functioning adult, and you were absent the day they handed it out. Still, there are small, treacherous moments when another thought flickers. Maybe it's not just me. Maybe this whole setup is wrong. Maybe the way we live, work, and distract ourselves all day is quietly hostile to something essential in me. You notice how often you're told to just push through, stay positive, be grateful, even when everything inside you feels misaligned. But before that thought can fully form, you push it away. You tell yourself you're just being dramatic, making excuses, looking for someone else to blame. Carl Jung, if he could sit at the edge of your bed tonight, would offer a different angle. He believed that many of the things we call symptoms are not just glitches in a broken person, but reactions of a soul that refuses to fit into a life that doesn't match it. Anxiety, emptiness, numbness, even certain kinds of confusion can be signals. Something in you is protesting the way you're living, the values you're surrounded by, the roles you've been forced to play. This isn't about handing out diagnoses or telling you what box you belong in. It's about recognizing patterns that quietly say, you are not as broken as you think. You are in conflict with a culture that may itself be deeply unwell. Your sensitivity, your confusion, your exhaustion might not be evidence of inner failure, but proof that some part of you is still alive enough to notice that something is wrong. In the next parts, we'll walk through specific signs of this inner rebellion, ways your psyche may already be trying to pull you toward a different kind of life, even while you're still busy blaming yourself for not fully fitting that sick world. There's a popular, tidy explanation for why you feel the way you do. It's just brain chemistry. Take this, adjust that, and the machine should run. Biology is real, and sometimes help is needed. But when the story stops there, something important goes missing. It becomes strangely convenient for everything around you if the problem is only inside your skull. If you're broken, no one has to question the pace of your job, the pressure of your culture, or the constant noise you live in. No one has to admit that a normal reaction to an abnormal world can look like anxiety, exhaustion, or collapse. Look closely, and your symptoms start to match your environment a little too well. Social anxiety makes sense in a world where you're constantly displayed, judged, and compared. Burnout makes sense in a culture that worships productivity, where rest is treated like weakness and your value is tied to output. Numbness makes sense in a timeline filled with outrage and bad news, where your nervous system has to choose between shutting down or burning out. That dull sense of meaninglessness makes sense when your day is spent doing things that never touch what you truly care about inside. Jung believed that many forms of neurosis weren't random malfunctions, but the soul refusing to cooperate with a life that doesn't fit. It's as if some deeper part of you says, "I can't live like this anymore," and pulls the emergency brake. The psyche rebels not because it is defective, but because it is being pushed into shapes that crush it. Your anxiety might be the part of you that can't stand constant performance. Your sadness might be the part of you that notices what's missing. Your lack of motivation might be the part that refuses to invest energy in a path that feels dead. Think about the person who cannot function in a normal job. They call themselves lazy, useless, or weak. They watch others handle office politics, meetings, performative busyness, and wonder why they fall apart. But maybe their system isn't rejecting work. Maybe it's rejecting meaninglessness. Maybe their mind refuses to treat empty tasks and shallow metrics as the center of a life. What if your pain is not a glitch, but intelligent feedback? Your anxiety, depression, or exhaustion might be crude, painful messages delivered by a psyche with limited tools, trying to say something hard to you. The way you're living, the roles you're playing, the pace you're keeping, something here is wrong for you. That doesn't magically fix anything, but it changes the story. You're not a broken machine throwing random errors. You're an alarm system that really works in a burning house. In a sick society, the ones who feel perfectly fine might not be the most healthy. They might be the ones who have gone numb, who have made peace with what is slowly killing them. If your suffering is meaningful, in fragments, it would also explain why you struggle to keep wearing a role you secretly know is fake. That tension between who you are and who you're supposed to be is not an accident. It's the next sign, and it leads straight into Jung's idea of the persona, the mask that no longer fits as well as it used to. There is a version of you that the world gets to see on most days. Inaitse smiles on cue, answers, "I'm good, just busy," stays productive, adaptable, unbothered. At work, you play the reliable professional. At home, the stable one. Online, the mildly interesting person who always has something upbeat or clever to say. You know how to wear this costume. You slip into it almost automatically. But afterwards, when the door finally closes behind you, there is that strangely hollow feeling again, as if the person who just spent the day performing wasn't you. Jung had a simple word for this public costume: the persona. It is the mask you present to the world so you can function without revealing everything all the time. Some form of mask is necessary. We can't walk through life as raw as we feel inside. The danger begins when the mask stops being a tool and starts becoming your whole identity, when you start to confuse being acceptable with being alive. If you pay attention, you can feel the cracks. In group settings, people tell you you're doing great, you seem confident, you blend in fine. Inside, you feel strangely disconnected, like an actor who forgot why he took the role. Social events that look effortless on the outside leave you drained, as if you spent hours holding your face in an expression that didn't belong to you. There are random moments, maybe in the bathroom at a party or staring out a window at work, where the thought hits you. None of these people know who I actually am. A sick society makes this worse. In a culture obsessed with branding, networking, and optics, masks aren't just common, they're mandatory. You're expected to be on all the time. You're selling some version of yourself just to stay afloat. Efficient, positive, always available, never too strange. The more artificial the environment, the thicker the mask has to be, until the gap between what you show and what you feel becomes a quiet source of pain. Here's the part no one tells you. Your inability to fully fake it might be a sign of health. Instead of treating your discomfort as proof you're socially defective, consider that it's your psyche refusing to fully merge with a role it knows isn't you. The tension, the fatigue, the sense of being split in two, they are all evidence that there is a real self underneath the costume, and it has not completely surrendered. Jung warned that when you only know yourself through the persona, you end up empty and dependent on applause. You become whatever gets you the best feedback, even if it means abandoning what you know is true. The fact that you feel fake in those moments, that something in you winces when the performance goes too far, suggests you haven't given up that inner reference point yet. Behind every mask, something else waits. Everything you've been told is too much, too dark, too selfish, or too strange gets pushed into another room inside you. Jung called that room the shadow. If your persona keeps cracking, if unacceptable traits and desires keep leaking through, it might mean you're closer to your whole self than the world wants you to be. And that's where the next sign begins. There are parts of you that you almost flinch from when they show up. The flash of anger when someone talks down to you. The spike of envy when you see someone living the life you wanted. The stubborn refusal to go along with something you know is stupid. The boredom that creeps in when conversation never goes beyond gossip and surface-level noise. You watch these reactions rise and think, "That's ugly, that's childish, that's proof there's something wrong with me." Jung would call this territory your shadow. In plain language, it's the part of you that holds everything you're not allowed to be. Not just the traits you label as bad, selfishness, rage, refusal, but also the parts of your aliveness that didn't fit the approved picture. Your sexuality, your creativity, your hunger for power, your desire to walk your own strange path. When those didn't feel safe to show, they were pushed into the dark, but they never really left. It's no accident that you were taught to be suspicious of these forces. Sick systems run best when people don't question too much, don't get too angry, don't say no, and don't dare to want more than they're given. A child who is loud, intense, strong-willed, or too curious about forbidden topics is harder to manage. So early on, traits like assertiveness, emotional intensity, and nonconformity get wrapped in shame. You learn that being good means being easy, and that anything that threatens the status quo in you must be bad. But notice this. The fact that you are disturbed by your own contradictions is already a sign of awareness. You feel something twist inside when you act fake, when you swallow your truth, when you avoid a difficult conversation out of cowardice. You replay it later and feel disgusted, not only with others, but with yourself. That sting means you're paying attention. Many people never reach that point. They act out whatever impulse grabs them in the moment, hurt people casually, lie to themselves daily, and call it just who I am. So compare two kinds of people. One lives with constant inner conflict, questioning their motives, wrestling with envy, anger, and fear, trying to understand what these reactions mean. The other is perfectly adapted to a shallow, cruel, or mindless environment. They feel no guilt using others. They sleep fine after doing things that would haunt you. They feel no conflict because they never stop to look. In a sick society, which of these looks healthier on the inside? Jung's suggestion was not that you should kill your shadow, but that you should make a relationship with it. When a dark reaction flares up, jealousy, rage, contempt, he would ask, what is this trying to protect? What truth is it pointing toward that your polite persona won't say out loud? Often your shadow knows before. You do where you have been too quiet, too submissive, too willing to live half asleep. It is clumsy, but it is trying to help. If your shadow keeps crashing into your life like an uninvited guest, it might be because it wants something your culture keeps refusing to offer you. Not more success, not more followers, but something heavier. A life that actually means something to you. And that is where the next sign begins. There's a special kind of disappointment that doesn't look dramatic from the outside. You've done many of the right things. You studied, you worked, You tried to build some kind of social life or relationship. Maybe you hit a few milestones people praise. Yet underneath, there's this low, steady emptiness that never fully goes away. In quiet moments, the question slips out almost by itself. Is this it? Is this really what I was supposed to work so hard for? Society's script is simple and loud. Get a job, stay busy, be productive, accumulate things, travel, post proof that you're living well. If you follow the instructions, you're told, a sense of satisfaction should eventually arrive like a package on your doorstep. But your psyche is not fooled so easily. Somewhere beneath the noise, another voice keeps whispering. What does this mean? Who am I under all of this performance? Jung spent much of his life listening to people who were successful on paper but hollow inside. He didn't wave their ache away as just mood problems. He saw many of these crises as spiritual in nature, crises of meaning. When life becomes all persona and no soul, only role, image, function, something inside begins to revolt. The symptoms look like restlessness, boredom, depression, or self-sabotage. The deeper reality is that a real self is refusing to be buried under a checklist. If you look closely, you may already see that you care more about meaning than metrics. You feel more awake when you're reading, creating, or having one deep conversation than when you're chasing status symbols. Hustle culture feels like an empty theater. Superficial flirting, networking for optics, rooms full of people trying to impress each other. These drain you faster than physical work. You'd rather sit with one person who will tell you the truth than stand in a crowd of admirers who only know your mask. In a society that worships speed, growth, and profit, this makes you look poorly adapted. Depth is inefficient. Reflection is unproductive. A hunger for truth slows the machine. From the system's point of view, your dissatisfaction is a bug. From Jung's point of view, it's a sign you're still human. Your longing for a life that means something makes you a bad cog, but a real person. He called the path you're being pulled toward individuation. In simple terms, it is the process of becoming who you actually are, not just a copy of what the collective wants from you. The restlessness you feel is the pressure of that unlived self, pushing against the life you've built so far, asking for room to exist. If you recognize yourself in this, you're already halfway out of the trance. You can't fully believe in the old promises anymore. Once that spell breaks, another shift quietly begins. You stop chasing belonging at any price and start wondering what it would mean to walk a quieter, more honest path, even if that path has fewer people on it. There comes a point where the effort to belong feels heavier than the loneliness of staying home. You notice you've stopped chasing the group that never really saw you. The urge to force yourself into rooms where you feel like a stranger in your own skin starts to fade. On some nights, you choose the quiet of your own space over another round of pretending. And although a part of you worries you're falling behind, another part exhales for the first time in years. You'd rather be misunderstood for who you are than liked for someone you're not, deep down. You've probably already paid a small price for this honesty. You pulled back from friendships that only survived on your constant effort. You stopped answering every late-night call to be someone's emotional landfill. You quietly refused certain expectations at work, or shared an opinion that made the room go cold. The social temperature around you dropped a few degrees, but inside, there was also a strange, steady relief. You hadn't betrayed yourself this time. Jung might call you a healthy outsider. In a sick society, the people who insist on inner truth often drift toward the edges. Not because they're broken, but because they won't fully surrender to what everyone else insists is normal. You are still flawed, still confused sometimes, still capable of cowardice and compromise, but you don't bully yourself as much into fitting in at any cost. Your relationship with yourself slowly shifts from hostile to curious. Along the way, you begin to sense that you're not entirely alone in this posture. You notice certain books that feel like conversations with someone who understands. Certain channels, certain late-night talks, where the mask drops and people dare to say how strange this all feels. Your tribe isn't loud or obvious. It moves quietly, recognizing itself more by depth than by numbers. So remember this as you carry your life forward. You were never the disease. Many of the traits you've hated in yourself, your sensitivity, your discomfort with fakeness, your hunger for meaning, are sane reactions to an environment that has lost its mind. Treat your symptoms as messages, not verdicts. Let them guide you toward a life that fits a little better. And if you ever want to go deeper, into dreams, symbols, and the private myths shaping your path, we can always return to Jung's darker, gentler rooms on another night.